Welcome. It's been a while. Um, where do I even start, right? So, I've been meaning to make this video for a long time now, and it seems that I brush it off every single time that, I start back up on YouTube or I take these breaks and then I come back after a while. And I wanted to finally just like address it and open up about it for the sake of like everybody who obviously cares to watch and for myself as well, right? Just having that peace of mind. So, yeah, let's get straight into it, right? So, with this whole content thing, right? I've always wanted like to have that vision for my channel where it was honest, authentic, and it was based around self-improvement and how I'm growing, whether that's integrating different things like perhaps um, Islam or a form of training like martial arts or something like that. But the foundation was that it's honest and authentic and just adds aspects of me, right? And I think I go in between these seasons where instead of that being the case, which that's the ideal, what tends to happen, and if you're a YouTuber or if you've, done some sort of creative endeavor of any sorts, you'll know that it's very hard to stay away from the influences of others. And it's fine to be inspired by someone like, for example, Hamza by Iman Gaji, by Andrew Tate, which is what most people are inspired by Andrew Huberman, by Chris Williamson, by Alex Amosi, right? But then there comes to a point where you start literally just becoming them, and that's not you, right? And that's something I noticed with my channel. Like some of the videos that popped off were because I was being more so them and not myself. And that's a hard line to draw, right? Because you're like, well, if all the greats on YouTube, if all these people, all they do is copy each other, and that's what I did to get the views that I did, but I also got hate on top of it. Like it's not about that, right? It's not about the external. It's about how I feel internally. So I draw that line. I'm like, and I don't know how to define or draw that line sometimes, but how I've done it is like if I feel fake or inauthentic in any way to myself, then I'll stop making that sort of content or I'll stop talking in that sort of tone or anything like that. And I'll just try to be me as much as possible and have my own ideas as well. And that's the next point as well. Sometimes it's not just identity, but ideas and beliefs as well. And I understand that some of these people are very, very successful because of the beliefs that they've had and the ideas that they have. But that doesn't mean that I have to necessarily agree to every single one of them, right? I can be critical about some. And even if they think that I'm lesser because of it, because some of them mention clearly in their videos, like, hey, I think of you in this manner if you do this, if you do X, um, if you watch certain shows, if you play video games, or if you do something like that. Not saying that I do any of those, I'm just using them as examples, right? Some of them I do still, of course. Um, but I'm saying, like, the point I'm trying to get across is that these ideas and beliefs, we tend to just take all of them, right? Some ideas and beliefs were like, oh my gosh, that's actually great. That's nice. Like, this is inspiring, right? Like getting into the gym, doing all these things, trying to start your own business. Like, these are very inspiring and creative ideas. But there is a point in which it takes away from you as well. Um, and you have to kind of figure that out for yourself and where you draw that line. Um, and unfortunately, when it comes to me, I really, really like being able to want to draw lines and keep things black and white. Like that would be so easy, right? When you can oversimplify something and be like, hey, I can draw a line here. Oh, this is when I'm being fake, this is when I'm being authentic. But it's like it's hard to know because again, you're inspired by some things, and there's things about you that you need to change, and then other things they're just a part of who you are, and those you want to keep consistent. Um, and so that might be like, for example, the way that you laugh, the way that you walk, the way that you talk, the way that you dress, um, those things, right? And we all draw those lines in different ways. And perhaps even some of my viewers, I wouldn't agree with the way that you dress, but then perhaps I'm a viewer of, like, for example, Hamza, and he might not approve of the way that I dress. And so it's just all like, it's all really subjective, and you kind of have to do what is right by you, in which, like, in the way in which you orientate yourself. So I try to orient myself towards Islam and self-improvement, right? That's the biggest thing for me, and that helps me lead my life. And it's probably unpopular to say this, because of course I'm expected you to bring yourself over to, like, Islam and preach it and things of that nature, but the truth is I had to find it for myself. Because most, and I know that this is going into other territory, but it's still on the topic of, like, me changing as an individual, and that's how that's impacting my YouTube. And there's no excuse for, like, me not uploading and stuff like that. I'm just saying, like, this is what's been happening, and that's just how it is, right? So again, going in that Islam, like, I found it for myself, and that's why I reverted back. And I found, like, the beauty in it, and the distinction between um the religion and the people of the religion, and how sometimes most people are, it's not just about being, like, a bad example, because people make mistakes, but, like, they're really bad examples of the religion, uh, most of the time, which is unfortunate, because I saw it in that light as well. And so I'm saying all of this to say that all of this went into transforming me into a different kind of person, for me to just be me and more like me. That's why my reels changed too, because they were more business based, and I wanted to enroll people into my coaching program, because I want to be, I want to learn entrepreneurship, I want to learn sales. I find it very, very interesting, and I have made sales, right? And people might say, like, I've always had this belief, like, oh, people might think I'm scummy because I'm trying to sell them, or like, or like be viewed as a scam, because most people view things online as a scam. But, like, I genuinely thought that I could provide value, and I see why they're seen as a scam too, because, like, a lot of, like, evil, there's a lot of evil entrepreneurships, entrepreneurs as well. But I always say it's not about the power, it's about how you use the power, right? And so there's a good way to use it, and then there's a bad way to use it. So, and again, that's different based off, like, my views would come more from Islam on what's good or bad, and perhaps philosophy and psychology. Yours might be another religion or another way of viewing life. So, um, again, I went from making business based reels that are just, like, educational based, to incorporating more of myself within the reels, incorporating my personality, and I'm learning to integrate me into educational content as well. Because at the end of the day, that's who I am, and that's how I grew up, and that's what I found inspiring. Like, for example, I'll give you one big example. I still watch anime, okay? And within the self improvement space, it's like anything that you do that's degenerate, uh, like like one of the things that falls under that is, like, watching TV shows and watching stuff, right? So for me, that was always a big thing of, like, oh my god, am I coping by watching this, or is this, like, something that's productive? And at the end of the day, I didn't have to be like, I didn't have to cope at all. I could just say, hey, maybe this isn't the most productive thing, but hey, this is me and it inspires me, so I'm gonna keep doing it anyway. Now, can that get out of hand as well? Of course. And that's where you have to learn to draw lines and be like, well, is this a form of escape? Is this making it harder to do my work, or anything of that nature, right? And so I had to ask myself those questions. And in some cases, I often pushed that line. But in some cases, it also brought me back into self improvement, because I realized that, like, some of the mentalities that some of the characters have made me want to, you know, go back to that. It made me want to post to begin with, like I am right now. And quite honestly, a video that I want to make in the future is about, like, masculinity and whatnot, and like, it taught me about that as well, and how to not lean into the extremes of the examples that we see within the modern world, but then also the other extremes that are there too. And it just feels like a bunch of politics at this point, to be honest, right? So um again, yeah, I know that like this video just seems like a huge rant of swords, and to some degree it is, like I said, but I just want to get it out there that like the bottom line is I wasn't posting because I realized that I'm changing as a person, right? And that like I know that, but now I'm starting to understand that I'm doing that at a very rapid rate to the point where I feel as though if I was to change myself, I would have negative consequences on my YouTube channel because people wouldn't want to watch me anymore. Because if I am not this way, if I'm not like these people online, then nobody's gonna watch me, nobody's gonna care about my content because I'm not, doing anything. So it's like a tug of war between what do I like, how do I be myself, but then how do I also play the game? And for me, I think I've made that distinction within like videos. Like I've made those distinctions in some way. I don't know everything, okay? But within videos, I want to be my authentic self and give across my message. But in terms of playing the game, like for example, copying thumbnails or copying titles, I think I'd still want to do that because I'd be playing the game. Now, some people might argue that that's inauthentic because you're not being you and you're not posting what you view as like your form of art in that manner. But like, I think I'm okay with the fact that I don't have to particularly be completely original, right? I can be a copy of sorts in some aspects, and some people might view that as, oh, you're trying too hard to, be original, or oh my God, you're copying. At the end of the day, someone's going to complain about something. At the end of the day, when it comes down to anything, everybody is going to always have something to say about something, right? If you get into the gym, they're going to shit on you. If you don't get into the gym, they're still going to shit on you. So like at the end of the day, you always have something to lose in the eyes of someone, right? So I'm just like, okay, I want to play the game in this aspects. Um, and then in other aspects, I'm going to be me and authentically me. And within the videos, that's what I want to do, like my personality as a whole. But sometimes what I'm going to do in terms of like thumbnails and stuff like that, like don't get me wrong, it's not going to be like copy and paste, but I do still want to play the game because that's what was working, right? So not to drag this video out too long, but yeah, I'm realizing that I'm changing throughout the course of YouTube rapidly because of self improvement and my beliefs and things of that nature. And because of that, um, my channel is going to evolve, right? And I might post different kinds of content. And I'm still going to plan on doing those late night candle talks and stuff like that. I still plan on making videos like this. Um, to some of you, I'll probably change. To others, I won't. And that's just like a fact of reality. I have to accept that I might lose people if I change, just like you might lose friends in real life if you change, same way you'd lose subs if you were to change. But I think that's just how it goes in the journey of, content creation. You realize that you're a person at the end of the day, and that you grow and you change. Um, and that, you know, de facto your content is going to change, not maybe not all of it, but to some degree, right? And so I'm going to do as best as I can to be myself and be authentic and talk about the lessons that I'm learning like I usually do. um, and if I get support for that, then lovely, amazing. But yeah, I just want to keep it at that. If any of you are interested in the one-on-one coaching, um, you can sign up for it down in the link below. I will be uploading more YouTube videos about fitness and stuff, so you have most information for free. So I just want that fitness coaching thing to be like one-on-one. If you really struggle and you really want like one-on-one attention with me, that's specifically what it's for. Um, because most fitness content stuff like that, you can honestly find like online. So I'm not like tripping too much about that. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna post more fitness content and stuff. So most of you, if you follow like the things that I talk about and stuff like that, then you'll be able to get a pretty good physique. Um, but otherwise, like again, if you need one-on-one attention, I got you. Link in the description. And Yeah, that's pretty much it. All right. Y'all take it easy. Peace.